All right, we are back for another lesson. This is lesson 41, page 100, 101, 102, and 103. So, if we think back to lesson 40, we had the tetrachord, whole step, half step. Then we learned this one, whole step, half step. Now we're going to learn what a major scale is. And the easiest one that we're going to learn first is C major scale. It is all the white notes. So a major scale is made up of two tetrachords, whole step, half step, joined by a whole step. So what that means is we have whole step, half step. Then you go up a whole step and you do a second tetrachord of whole step, half step. So from G, whole step, half step. Each scale begins and ends on the same note. It's called the key note. Well, I learned it as the key center. And the tetrachord pattern is very good to know. But I just memorized the pattern of whole step, half step, whole step, half step. Or whole, half, whole, half. Whole, half, whole, half. Whole, half, whole, half. So, what that is, it's the same thing, but instead of thinking of it as two separate tetrachords, you have whole step, half step, whole step, half step, whole, half, whole, half. There are 8 notes in the C major scale, and we only have 5 fingers. So an important trick must be mastered. It's called passing the thumb under the 3rd finger. This exercise will make the trick easy in the middle of page 100. So what you're doing is this. Really, that's it. This is all it takes to pass your thumb under your 3rd finger. Now what I'm doing when I play the scale, we already know these are the notes. But in order to play it, you have to tuck your thumb under. You'll get that smooth over time. But just look at the exercise in the middle. You're playing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There's a repeat sign, you do it twice. But that's, so what I'm not doing, so I'll do it up here, hopefully you can see my arm. What you don't want to do is 1, 2, 3, 1. You don't want this big elbow up, hand turned thing to get your thumb there. Same with the left. You don't want to do this to get it. So it's you can see my hand is staying flat. I'm just tucking my thumb to the very next note. Look at the bass clef example. It's the left hand. You have C, B, A, G. Again, my hand is not doing any sort of weird flexing. They both just tuck under. It's a very natural thing. So, the bottom of page 100 says the C major scale begins slowly Lean the hand slightly in the direction you are moving. The hand should be moving smoothly along with no twisting motion of the wrist. That's what I'm talking about with all this. So this starts with the right hand, and you do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Repeat. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Left hand. You have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. You notice when I'm coming up, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I'm moving my hand over my thumb, because the thumb is being played, and I have to move my third finger to the A. But I'm not twisting my hand, I'm not turning sideways or any other way. It's nice and smooth that my hand just flows to where it needs to be. You'll notice on the way down in the right hand, the same thing happens. On the way up, my thumb tucks under. On the way down, my hand moves over. On the way up, my left moves over. On the way down, my thumb tucks under. So page 101, it says writing the major scale. The C major scale is whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. It's the tetrachord, then a whole step, and a second tetrachord. So it says to complete the tetrachord beginning on C, write one note over each finger number, then complete the tetrachord beginning on G, write one note under each finger number. Play the above using left hand, first tetrachord, right hand on the second tetrachord. Well, okay, you just practiced it on the bottom of page 100 using each hand individually with the thumb tuck. But they want you to do this. And then for the next one down, complete the tetrachord beginning of each of the notes, write one note under each finger number. Play the right hand by crossing 1 under 3. You can play the entire scale of 8 notes with the 5 fingers on your one hand. You did that. And then with the left, or the bass clef 1 on the bottom. Now I'm going to give you these notes. The notes are C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. It's the musical alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. It's the musical alphabet, but the reason we start with the C major scale is because it's all the white notes. So, the notes that you write should go directly in order. Remember the tetrachord, you have to follow the notes in alphabetical order. So, with this, you have the tetrachord on C and the tetrachord on G. So your notes should be C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. That is page 101. It says at the bottom, play each of the above 2 scales again, beginning on the highest note and descending to the lowest. Read the notes and fingering in reverse, from right to left. Well, that's the same as the bottom of page 100. So if you have trouble reading from right to left, just look at the bottom of page 100 in the second half for the treble clef and the first half for the bass clef. That's descending. Page 102, it says these hands were made for playing. The fact that the thumb opposes the remaining fingers is one of the significant differences between humans and animals. It enables us to use tools skillfully to write and paint and also make music. It is a particularly important factor for playing a keyboard instrument. The musculature of the hand allows the thumb to pivot under the palm, like we've done, and easily touch the base of the fourth finger. By making use of this faculty, we have the ability to move the thumb to play a key, and then we can shift the position of the hand. This enables us to play continuously up or down the entire keyboard. The following drawings are views of the palm of the hand. The drawing on the left shows the palmar fascia, the connective tissue that supports the muscles of the inner part of the hand. The drawing on the right shows the thumb reach under to touch the base of the fourth finger to play the scales of 8 or more notes without interrupting the flow. So if you look at the bottom of page 102, we've already done this. You did this on the bottom of page 100. So you've gone over this already. It's just more practice. All right, take a look at page 103. You should pause it and practice it, but first we're going to talk about a couple things. F, the new dynamic sign, double forte or fortissimo, which means very loud, very strong, very forceful. A couple things to pay attention to. The second measure of line 2, you have a fermata and a pedal marking. You have dotted rhythms, dotted half notes, dotted quarter notes, followed by an eighth note. These things are tricky. Make sure you're looking at them. The dynamic markings change. The first line is forte, then you have a crescendo to fortissimo, where that fermata is on line 2. Then it continues fortissimo because there's no dynamic marking to indicate a change. Line 3 says mezzo forte or medium loud. So line 3 is a little softer. And then line 4 says forte, which is loud again. So it should be approximately the volume that you were playing at the very beginning. So pause this and I will play it for you after you've had a chance to practice it. Joy to the world. So there was some dynamic changes, some pedal markings. Hopefully you got them all. Let's take a look at these pages, and that'll be the end of lesson 41. Page 100. (101). 102 and 103. Joy to the world.